Were you looking for people your age mates, or you would look for like a daddy figure in these men?
I've dated older men, like that's why I had like in my other version I had like the scenarios of having or hanging around men who are older than me.
Did you listen to the Hot Breakfast this morning? Here's what you missed.
Tracy Waithera joins us live in the studios today. Grew up in a place called
Githurai 44.
44 or 45?
I wish we had like audio visual.
Yeah.
Oh, my friend.
Eye candy.
Eye candy.
Hello. Tracy Waithera.
Optical nourishment.
Welcome to Hot 96.
Thank you so much. You guys are really hot. Really, really hot.
Sana sana mi, sindio? Unajisifu? There's only one draw.
Hi guys, my name is Tracy Waithera, or Tracy Waithera as people know me huko kwa mtandao. And I'm just a little beautiful girl. A child of God. A child of God who is really loved and who has really gone through a lot and has been able to overcome her different traumas that she has, you know, found or seen in her life. And so going way back, I've been raised by a very beautiful single mother called Wanjiro. And she really went head over heels for me and my sister to make sure that we had a good life. And she tried her best. That's what I always say. And so even when we would go through all these difficulties, it is good for us to remember that our parents too had a very bad upbringing. And so it's not like it's something to like beat them up or like say, oh yeah, they did a problem. No, no, no. All of them, they went through their own traumas, and their parents too projected things to them, and now they would project those things to us. And so growing up in a house where people fight each and every day, like fighting ni kama chai or food, it's so normal. It's so normal shouting. It's so normal beating people with objects. It's so normal like injuring people, and people find it so normal. And so growing up, I was like, why is this normal in my life? Why do I have all this chaos going around? Is there any peace that people, is there a point that someone reaches and says, I am really peaceful? My mind is calm. My heart is at peace. My mind is at peace. Is there a day that comes, such a day? And so I was looking forward to always get to such a day, to get to a day where I am peaceful and my heart is calm. Because growing up now with a lot of violence and not only in one family, it's all families from my mom's side and my dad's side who know they separated quite when I was like very little. And so I just found like, you know, a spirit of knowing like who I am away from that, not letting whatever that I've gone through define me as Tracy, or let me, you know, maybe look forward to having like a marriage which would work, or having like men who will beat me up, because before now I would have that fear. Because every time I would see like the male gender, I'm scared. I'm like, oh, like this person just wants to like beat me up. This person wants to like give me a bad future, like the way my mama was given a bad future by my dad, you know. And so I was really tense. Like you have that fear, but we are all smiling, we look okay, but there are some fears that we have not really faced as human beings. They are the fears that you got as a child, and right now they're really affecting you. They are making you sick, but you don't even know. You don't know that it's something that you got when you were so young. It is the girl who was mistreated when I was 15 years ago, when I was 14 years ago. It was that little girl who right now I've been trying to like heal and come to a space of peace that I've always wanted since I was a child.
So this, as far back as you can remember, when did your dad leave? How old exactly were you?
I was 10.
10?
Yeah, I was 10.
And now 10. You're like 20...
something.
Okay. This will be the first person to ever give their age, but anyway.
I'm 20-something, and so like we left at around, yeah, I was the age of 10, and then my sister was younger. And so the first scenario that now my dad chased us out, we didn't really have like a space to go or a place to go, because like my mom comes from a very humble and poor background, and so each and every family member from her side was like, you need to go back to where you're coming from. You need to go back to that marriage, because where will you go? Where will you go if you do not stay in that marriage? And my mom was like, I am gonna suffer with these kids because I am not going back there to die or to have something else. Because looking at my dad's life and story, my dad was being beaten even with our grandma when we are there. And so
when you are already 10 years?
Like even when I'm like older, you can see like your grandma beating your dad.
Well, how does that even work?
Yeah, it's quite
his
chaotic. Now my grandma who rested last week. It's okay. And so like seeing that from my dad right now just makes me connect why he had a lot of anger, why he had a lot of sadness in him, why he will just think that things can't be solved peacefully. Because he himself, being raised by the mother, he's been taught like everything is like made peaceful with chaos. Everything, you have to beat people for them to hear a message. You have to, my grandmother was selling changa, and so then we would like go to her place, and so when she's getting the changa, I would be there and be like, police would come around, and I'm like, hey, my grandma is not around yet, she's like under the bed and stuff. And so like being raised in such a scenario, I now can understand why my dad was like that, why he was really doing all those projections, because for him being raised, he's like, there's nothing peaceful in my life, and that's why he would project all those things to my mom, and even beat my mom as I see, and my sister can see,
Oh, he'd also fight with you said with your mom.
Now my mom, now my dad now beating my mom up.
Let me ask you.
Is he still alive?
Sorry?
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he is. He's called Mwange.
Are you in touch?
Yeah, we are. We became actually, I am the one who told him that the mother passed away when we started like reconnecting, because when I started coming into a realm of peace and understanding that he was doing this out of his own trauma, I reached out and I was like, we don't speak
that language.
Forgive you. I forgive you. Sorry. I forgive you for the things that you did then. And my dad is like, when I was nikikupata wewe and your sister, in Kikuyu they say daremonanu, I was a boy who had like bad manners. So you can see, your dad now knows. He knows he did things because he was not him in action. Because every time that trauma comes out, it's not you, it's your little you that is trying to show. A child that you didn't like give attention to. You never wanted to know what was really my problem. You never wanted to know maybe if the way you were raised, questioning why you were raised like that. Because most of the times we do not question our upbringing. Like questioning, why am I in such a scenario and in such a family? Why do they act the way they do? Why do I act the way I do? Maybe the things I've been taught, they're a lie. And now maybe I need to learn new things. And so that was like it now in my life, trying to learn new things, because everything I've been taught is a lie. Being taught that life is chaos. Life, you have to beat people, you have to shout. Nothing can be solved civically, like all that. So I had to undo.
How long had it been since him and his mom spoke, now your grandma?
They were really talking. It's just that my dad currently does not have like a phone, because he's still living with the kind of state he was living even when we were young. Like the kind of poverty state, mentality, all that.
Still drinking?
No, currently he stopped drinking. And he has his own life and I have mine. And the best thing that I can do as Waithera is just love him from a distance. And just give him grace, because for me, I've received grace from God too. And that's the best I can do.
Did he ask for your forgiveness, for the things he did while you were...
An African parent asking the child, this would be their first?
Not really, but... Not really, but coming from a space of peace, me, myself, I can see someone in agony. I can see someone who really wants to say something even if they do not have the words. Because I myself as a person have had things that I could not express with words, but I would really want people to forgive me for what I did. And sometimes you can see even forgiveness, like people can't like forgive themselves. You can see the agony in them. Like they have the traumas and the sadness, and you can feel even from the phone calls. You can always feel something. And so the best thing that you can do to bring people to a lower self is give them love. Give them the kindness they didn't receive. Give them the grace that they think people can't give. That's the best I can do.
Let me ask you, so you said your grandma was very violent. How was her eulogy? Did people speak the truth about her, or just...
it's not like she was violent because she was a bad person. My grandmother was the best woman who like really raised me. And when my mom separated with my dad, my mom left me at my grandmother's door. And so my grandmother took us in, and she raised me and my sister. She taught me how to clean, how to cook, how to do each and everything. And so for her too, she didn't have a good upbringing as my grandmother. Like you would hear her stories saying, hey, moduri wako. You can hear stories from her. And so it means even when she's beating the kids, it's because she has raised these kids, giving them or projecting to them trauma that she has faced too. And so she was really a good woman, a very, very good woman, loving good woman. Away from her being like having the violent and the anger issues which some of us human beings have but we do not face, she was an amazing, amazing woman.
So when you guys used to stay at strangest places, right?
Yeah.
You used to literally knock on doors.
Yeah.
And ask people, can we spend the night?
Yeah. That's Huruma. We would walk like in Huruma usiku. We're just knocking at people's doors like, hi, munaweza kutusaidia kwa kulala. There was one woman called Mama Shko who was like, yeah, come in. And she gave us like a mattress to sleep on. I don't know, that was... she really took care of us, and she didn't even know us. She just took us in. And then the next time I can remember, we went to this particular building and knocked, and then people said, oh, wezi. So I can remember tukishuka stairs, me and my mom, so fast, because people are calling us thieves. And we are like, oh my God, we are not thieves, you know? And it's just that we've just been chased away with my dad, and yeah, that was it. It's been like a lot of turmoil. Away from that, even walking to Kambiti for almost 3 days or a week, because yeah, looking for like my mama's sister to go and stay, you know, at her place. Yeah.
That must have been very traumatizing.
Yes. That's why I say healing is very important.
Did you go to school after that?
Yeah, I went to school, went to a lot of schools. A lot. I've studied Ushago in Kikuyu, actually, nursery school. I've gone to like 7 school or 8 if I count.
Sort of
or
like
10.
Sort of like Nick here.
Like transferring from one school to another because we are changing locations. And then the other aunt, Siju, is living with me for, I think, 2 years. Then Siju, I'm in Wangige living with another uncle, with another aunt. Like that. So I would really change schools.
Were you good in school? I mean, were you good in class?
I would not say I was good in class. What I would say is that I'm a name material, but whatever was happening in school was quite funny. I would go to school and then I think I was sad. Have you ever had like sad moments in school, but you're still that bubbly? I'm like one of the most bubbliest person, I think, like in life. I'm so bubbly and playful. But deep down, there were wounds that were not like mend. And so behind the smile, there was a lot going on. A lot going on in my life.
And you were hiding it all. I mean, there was nobody to talk to. There was nobody
No one. And that's the thing. I've not been raised like talking to people. And so I was not like someone who like would be vulnerable with people, even a man or anyone in that sense, even friends. There are friends who like tell me, it's been 3 years and I'm knowing you right now. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not my fault. Like, I was really like that. And so I had to go for a break on like my content creation and stuff to go and find me, you know, to go and heal those wounds, because now it was getting worse. It got worse to a place where I was used to so much hiding and so much hiding of my wounds, till now I got to a place where I got the suicidal thoughts, which I never thought me as Tracy I'll ever have. Suicidal thoughts.
What triggered it? Because was it like what happened?
Wow. The unhealed wounds, sometimes they make you get to the end of you, because the faking becomes so much. And being raised in an alcohol environment, I was escaping and numbing my pain with alcohol. And so there are these scenarios in my house that my friend is taking care of me. I'm almost dying. She's called Lois. She cleaned me up like I was almost dying. That's what I would say. Like I had drunk alcohol in my house, and like it was bad. it was really, really bad. I was really escaping to alcohol, like for it to numb the things that I will not tell people about. And the thing is, nobody would see it because my life looks perfect in the outside. Everyone is like, you're doing amazing, you're doing okay. But I'm like, I am not doing okay. My mind, my heart is always like a turmoil. It's like there's a fight inside my brain. There's like things in my brain, even if I'm trying to like work and do other things. I now got into like depression and anxiety proper before the suicidal thoughts came in. And so when I had like the anxiety and like those panic attacks one day, it got so bad. So bad that I asked myself, am I really needed in this world? Am I really important in this world? Am I really? And that's like one of the biggest lie I think I can say the enemy had like presented in my life. Like there were just these sounds in my head like, you're not important. Life is hard. You're just from like this life which has a lot of difficulties, poverty and problems. And then being raised in a family which people are not positive most of the times. Everyone is just projecting fear, projecting poverty. Nobody thinks that we are going to come out of this, you know? And I'm like, I am really tired of singing this song. I'm tired of singing the song of poverty. If it's going to change, then let it start with me, you know, in my family. Let me then be the one to at least change the stories that I hear in my family since I was born. And so, yeah.
So how did you pick yourself up? You know, because a lot of people are unable to, especially if the whole family or everyone you hang out with is just negative every day. How did you pick yourself up?
I escaped. I did an isolation. I fasted from social media. I fasted from people. I left people out, my mother, my sister. I didn't talk to people for months. And that was like a personal journey. And I didn't create content in those months. I said, I'm done. Literally, I was like, I washed my hands. I was like, I am done. I'm going to look for me. And that time when I wanted to like, when the suicidal thoughts came in, there was just this voice that was telling me, Waithera, I've been with you for all these years. Since you are in Huruma, going around at night, I've been here with you. So why would you say you wanna go? I've been present. Like immediately I felt like I've been present. I can remember I went to like I went into my house, like inside, and then I opened the Bible app on my phone, which I had not like opened for forever. Then I got like this verse of like Jeremiah, and it's like, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. And you're going to live in this world and see the goodness of God. And my goodness, I think that just changed my life, literally. Like realizing that away from all the problems and each and everything, kuna mtu amekuwa na mimi. There is someone who is with me, even if like I felt lonely. But I had a lot of people, because I can say I really felt lonely, and yet I had a lot of people around me. Till now, I went to now a lonely space and started talking to a higher being. I can say that I knew God, but I was not in a relationship with Him. And so I embarked on a journey on having a relationship with someone who is higher, who is not a human being. Someone who knows me, someone who knew me even before I was in this world. And so connecting with Him, it just made me, and it made me walk. It just made me, my goodness, it was so awakening.
So did you find Jesus?
Yes. And I'm so at peace. My God, Jesus Christ.
Hallelujah. Preach on, sister. Quote another verse.
Sana.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
I know now, because of the negativity in the family, and you know family you have to interact with, have you managed to pull one person after the other out of that space of seeing will be poor, people being angry?
If you're not responsible of healing someone, you're not responsible of healing anybody. The only thing that I can do is, when you work on self, the vibration starts. And that's not your obligation. It starts automatically. Me, when I heal, the way I was reacting to my mama's anger before, as a healed version, you react differently. It's not just the same way you are reacting before, because right now I know how to handle my anger. I do know it's not a must like I beat someone for them to understand what I have to say. I know that my kids, I do not have to raise them as I was raised by my mama, who still had her own traumas, you know. And so when I heal me, the vibration will vibrate. The thing is, it's not my obligation to know when the vibration will happen on my mom, on my dad. No, that's the work of the Holy Spirit or God. The only thing that I can do is give them love and try and show them that even them, how they were raised was not right, and they did not do those things to me because they are bad. It's not like my mama is bad, my shosho is not bad, my dad is not bad, nobody's bad. It's just that the person who was put like to be your care, and like mwenye alikupewa like akuangalie, hakukuangalia vile inafaa.
Sure.
And now it's your obligation to heal that.
Do you live with someone?
I live alone.
Have you found love?
I am love. I attract love, I give love, and yeah, love will come at the right time.
Because you're lacking something in your life, you know that?
What?
A boyfriend, a lover.
Because you were not loved as a child.
Yeah, I think now getting the truth that God loves me, it just changed the whole scenario. Because even before, even when I was going to men, I was going for them to fill that space of love. I did not love Tracy enough. I did not love Tracy enough. I didn't love my flaws enough. I didn't love my dark side enough. And so every time I was going to a relationship, I was like, I want Jeff to love me. I want you to love me. I want Nani to love me. I'm looking forward to getting your love. And so I cannot be able to give me love. And so I was like, I need to first give me love before I am out here looking for people to fill this space, you know? And because, you know, I feel like when you feel the space, you as a person, it attracts the right person to love you the way you want to be loved. It says like, love yourself the way you want people to love you.
Were you looking for people your age mates, or you would look for like a daddy figure in these men?
I never looked for my age mate. Actually, I've dated older men. Like, that's why I had, like, in my other version, I had like the scenarios of having or hanging around men who are older than me. Because one thing, I never had like peers who really understood me, because when my peers are looking out to like partying and stuff, I have responsibilities. I'm here looking at my mama, what will they eat, and my sister, like, you know. So I never was in alignment with my peers. It always has been like this, because I'm here thinking about how to earn and how to go to the next marketing agency to get an activation, because I was doing activation so much, being in supermarkets, wearing those two dresses and talking to people, hey, I'm selling da 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 da. And so that was my mindset. I started working at 16, 17. And so looking for a relationship was like me feeling a void that I had not even looked at.
And what do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I want to be someone who impacts someone's life positively. I want to make sure that everyone that I meet, I show them love and kindness. That's what I aspire to be. I aspire to have impact, not even influence in this society. Like being impactful in a positive way, because we lack it. I lacked the love, and I'm like, I'm going to give the world all the love that I can. Because that's it. It's the only solution to each and everything. If people loved each other so much, you will never kill a daughter or a son or beat someone up, because you love them like Jesus loves, or you love them like the way people want to be loved. So I'm like, for me, I just want to be like a purposeful human being. I make sure that I align people to their purpose too, as I align with mine.
I can have a name for your church: Purposeful Healing Center Devotion. Gidurai. Anyway,
What the fuck?
I wanted to ask you, maybe this is a point where you talk directly to maybe young girls and men in these families, because there's a whole history and you've lived it. And so maybe powerful words from you would be able to help someone get themselves out of this situation towards healing.
One thing I would want you to ask yourself is, the things that you have grown being taught, I would want you to go back and try and unlearn them. And so it's the highest time you choose you as a person. It's the highest time you know what really bothers you, not from the stems. Start from the roots, like go deep. You know, we love like fixing things in terms like temporarily. And that's the issue, because when you're fixing them temporarily, you're numbing with things. That's where can alcohol come in, other things come in. And like, that should not be the way. Rather than numbing your problems, deal with them, then you're going to have that drink when you're having fun, because you have peace of mind. Have that drink when you're comfortable with the feelings that you hide. You know, I've been raised in a family where men are told when they cry, they are shouted at. Like, unalia weni mwanaume. I'm like, you guys need to stop. You need to stop, because there is no healing without you letting your vulnerable self out. And that's when we really escape that. We escape that point of like weakness. We escape that point of vulnerability. We escape that point of you as a man crying, you as a woman crying out your feelings. As a woman, you have your room, your bed sitter, wherever you sit alone. Know who you are and what bothers you from the inside. Because most of the time having people around, you're clogged. Right now we have like social media and I work there. And I advise people, I have a phone, but I stay like even 6 hours without touching it, because I can have my own, I put my own timelines, you know, because I know it's a dopamine and other things are. And so these things, like you being on the screen each and every time seeing nonsense, I'm sorry, fix your algorithm. Your algorithm is like, see things that can help you in your phone. If that phone you're taking it, see the things like on Instagram. You know, like we have this news is disturbing, everything is fearful, things are just fearful, things are fearful. Anything on social media, things are very fearful. News, someone died, a lot. And so the best thing you can, when is the last time you even saw the clouds clearly? Did you yesterday see there was a full moon? Like, we move to a personal space. Move to a space where you can find you. Move to a space where you can make that algorithm, and when you come out, that phone won't even be on you. You're the one who is going to be controlling the social media. It's not going to be anywhere in your line. So choose you. Know how to sit with your feelings. Accept your flaws. Accept the things that people told you. Maybe your mama told you, oh, things, words growing up. You're not your mama's words. You're not your auntie's words, your uncle's words, your shosho's words. You're nobody's words. You're only the words that were made when you were being created. And the thing is, we believe so much words that we have been told by people, and we make them our truths. Like, sometimes you're living with an image that's not really you. Maybe the real you is so much kind, but you're violent. You're violent. Why? You got a violent parent who was showing you violence. You got hurt when you were a kid. You've never faced that hurt.